From pharmacist apprentice to poison expert, the queen of crime, Agatha Christie has the Guinness World Record as the most successful novelist of all time, being outsold only by the Bible and Shakespeare. Agatha Christie is best known as a successful crime novelist. What most people don't know is she started out as a nurse and a pharmacist. Secondly, her career in pharmacy and a bet between two sisters, as well as her knowledge in poisons, prompted her to begin her writing. Finally, her writing actually had some real-life results. During the First World War, Christie became a volunteer nurse, where shortly after there was a dispensary that opened in the hospital she was working, and this piqued her interest. She became a pharmacist in 1917 after her training and examinations. It was during this training where she caught what could have been a deadly mistake that was made by her instructor, who she named Mr. P. Mr. P had actually calculated the dose of some suppositories incorrectly, which would have given his patient 10 times the required dose. Christie could not confront her instructor since she was still in training, so instead she destroyed the batch by pretending to trip and dropping them on the floor, stomping them into the ground. After many apologies, the correct batch was made up with the correct dosage. Instances like this and his often inattentiveness to detail actually earned Mr. P a spot as a character in her novel, The Pale Horse, many years later. During her time as a pharmacist, Christie began writing and decided she wanted to try to write a novel. Her sister Madge, who was actually a pretty successful writer at the time, told Christie it would be too hard and actually bet her she couldn't do it. This was all the push that Christie needed to write, and while working, she decided she was going to use her environment as her means of inspiration, making poison her choice for murder. Agatha Christie has written over 60 detective novels and has used poison as a means for murder in hundreds of cases. Christie's knowledge of poisons allowed her to write in accurate detail, and depending on whom you ask, is either blamed or credited with bringing certain poisons to the forefront. Most notably would be the poison thallium, which back then was used as an over-the-counter rat poison. Her detailed description of the symptoms experienced not only helped save the life of a toddler who was accidentally poisoned, it also helped to catch a serial killer named Graham Young, who'd poisoned 70 people, killing 3. Agatha Christie's life did not begin and end with pharmacy. She was able to have several successful careers in her lifetime, including as a nurse, as a pharmacist, and finally as a writer. A simple bet between two sisters took her on a completely different career path. Christie shows that there's no one way to do things or to choose a career. There's no reason to feel like you're stuck. My goal is to become a pharmacist, where for her, it was just a stepping stone to something else. Ultimately, we are the ones who are responsible for the paths we decide to take.